Man, what the hell was that? Guys, I'm really, really, really sorry about that. Hopefully everybody will jump right back on. Um, we'll wait for the chat to get going before I go into what happened here. I don't know. I had some kind of Wi-Fi meltdown, disconnected, had no, and listen, this is technology, right? This is what happens when, we rely on technology. Sometimes things go wrong, and that's what happened. And I apologize for that. Well, it was very, very frustrating. But again, it was a Wi-Fi issue. All of a sudden, the connectivity completely vanished. Yeah, SC, sorry about that. I apologize. Not my best moment for sure, but like I said, technology, this is what happens sometimes. But the bigger point is I'm back. And I was just about to go. Yeah, Mark, sorry about that. Just about to go through the schedule and give you guys who I like, who make good to the moon and to the bench options. And I had just started talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns and how the Steelers defense, and those who are just coming back in now, sorry about that. I had a Wi-Fi meltdown. But we're all good now, thank God. So, hey, Robert, bench Ridley. I would bench Ridley there. So the Steelers defense against Dorian Thompson Robinson. I mean, the UCLA kid, he was good in the preseason. And remember, the Browns traded Josh Dobbs, and look what he's doing now. So the Browns never get it right at quarterback. They're not getting it right with Deshaun Watson, who suddenly cannot stay healthy. And they're in for a world of hurt against the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday. Deontay Johnson is, despite the good, the Steelers being on the right end on this one in terms of being the favorite, Deontay Johnson to me is to the bench. He's hobbled. He's got some kind of, I think it's a hamstring. He's not playing well. Caught one pass last week. Pickens too. I don't like any of these guys. Now, Kenny Pickett is really dragging down the fantasy value of all of the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive players outside of the running backs. And even Najee Harris, Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, this is not a good matchup for them either. The Browns, say what you want now offensively, this defense is absolutely legit. They're as good a defense as there is in the NFL. Would you flex Foreman, Kirk, Flowers? Kirk for sure, 100%. He's playing really well despite Trevor Lawrence's struggles. Now, Amari Cooper, your trade deadline in fantasy is coming this weekend. You have to trade Amari Cooper now. His value is going right into the shitter with Watson now being out. It's that bad. You could play Jerome Ford, even though, again, honestly, I'm benching everybody in this matchup with the exception of Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren, and even and that's not a good matchup either for them. But I think I still would play them. That's how bad this matchup. This is such a defensive gem of a matchup for sure. I'd be very leery of going with anybody, any prime offensive player in this one. Now, the Detroit Lions play the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields should be back for this one. All right. Now, it's been a long time since we saw him. He had the thumb injury. We all know. Listen, this is his last year with the Bears. They are definitely going to draft a quarterback. Now, that being said, Fields is capable of going nuclear in any game. He's got 2 40-point games this year, right? But the rest of the time, he's been dog shit. And he's got a bad attitude. He still can't throw. And the Lions defense, listen, they got chewed up last week. That was an anomaly. This defense has played pretty well this year. I think they're going to give him a lot of problems. Now, DJ Moore, you feel a little bit better about this week. Cole Kmet, not as much. I would bench Cole Kmet because he got most of his red zone looks from Tyson Bagent. Obviously, with the Lions, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, you can use both of them. Kyler or Dobbs this week. That's close. Listen, the Broncos defense is playing really good right now. They shut down the Chiefs and the Bills, so I would go Kyler because I still think that's going to be a shootout. Hey, Connor, pick 3. Laporta, Kincaid, McBride. Definitely McBride. I would go McBride, Terry, and Laporta. David Montgomery. So the David Montgomery situation with Jahmyr Gibbs. Got a lot of questions on that. And for me, you're still playing both of them. Montgomery is going to see a drop in touches, right? And even snaps. this is the Jahmyr Gibbs that we expected all along, but it just so happened that the Lions wanted to hold him out. I like Rice more than Flowers, Zamora. Actually, you know what? I take that back because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'd go Flowers. Montgomery still going to get the goal line work. As far as Jahmyr Gibbs, listen, he's going to catch a lot of passes out of the backfield, and it doesn't take him long to pile up big yardage numbers because he's such an explosive back. Like, the Lions said they would have taken him over Bijan Robinson. I truly don't believe that, but Gibbs, I had him graded. While Bijan Robinson clearly was the number one guy, I had him graded not that far below him in my draft guide. And nothing I'm seeing right now is a surprise. He truly is a home run hitter, unbelievable receiver out of the backfield, and he's very fantasy friendly. David Montgomery has 3 100-yard rushing games. Like, when do we remember him running like this with Chicago, right? We didn't. A lot of that has to do with the Detroit offensive line. But the touchdown is going to continue to be there. So David Montgomery is absolutely going to start for me. And Sam Laporta, I think Sam Laporta is a to-the-moon candidate this week. I think it's a better matchup. The Bears have stopped the run pretty good. As a matter of fact, I think they're right near the top of the league, but that should open things up for Sam Laporta. Green Bay, Los Angeles. Keenan Allen practiced today. He was limited, did not practice yesterday. He's beat up. Like, Keenan Allen is an aging receiver. He's 31. He's playing really well. Green Bay, though, I don't trust anybody on this offense. And Madison's still in concussion protocol, and I don't think he's going to play. It's very rare where a guy goes into concussion protocol and makes it back for that week's game. The Packers, I don't trust them at all. Even Aaron Jones, who I love, because Jordan Love stinks. They give the ball to A.J. Dillon around the goal line, so that hurts A.J., Aaron Jones' ability to collect touchdowns. I'm not starting any of these guys. I know the Chargers defense is bad. If you want to put Luke Musgrave in there, I would. He's playing better. Los Angeles. Do you play Jerry Guyton? I don't think I would play Guyton. Quentin Johnson, I just don't see enough consistency there. So I'm apt to send those guys to the bench. Miami, the Raiders, is a get-well spot for Miami. Raheem Mostert beat up. He did not practice today. Or maybe he was limited. We'll go over the injury report after we do this. Ray, you still got to go Jalen Hurts, no matter, although just the fact that we're even asking that question is amazing and shows you how far CJ Stroud has come. Vegas, the defense is playing pretty well. I got to hand it to Las Vegas. Their defense has actually been playing very well. Max Crosby's collecting a lot of sacks. But you're going to start all your players. Devin Achane, I think I still would start him. Jeff Wilson, I don't think Jeff Wilson's going to be ahead of Achane. In fact, he's not going to be. Like, Achane was just way too good. But the one thing I'll say about Achane is that he's not going to score a touchdown every 6 touches like he did previously. Giants, Commanders, if you're doing the betting, I would do anytime touchdown Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is going to score a touchdown. Antonio Gibson did not practice today for the Commanders, or at least he wasn't out there when practice started. Robinson is showing he can catch the ball. And remember, his last year at Alabama, Robinson caught 30-something passes. Like, he's a good receiver, but they haven't had to use him on that side of things because Antonio Gibson is a converted wide receiver. So he's more, that's more his game. But Brian Robinson is coming, folks. Like, he's really playing well, and the Giants defense is garbage. They traded Leonard Williams. Kayvon Thibodeau's in concussion protocol. Adoree Jackson's in concussion protocol. Like, this all shapes up for a Brian Robinson-centric game. I think, Terry McLaurin, you're definitely going to start him, but I think Brian Robinson is a to-the-moon guy. Saquon Barkley, obviously you're starting him, but I'm not starting any other Giant. If Pierce misses again, why did Texans put him on there? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. But you can say the same thing about the Bears with Justin Fields. Rice, second half breakout. He's been good. He's capable of more, but that's more Andy Reid not taking the training wheels off. And as far as J.J. Ed, I don't know. The problem with that game, that makes it a little bit more tough for him, for his fantasy owners. Listen, grind, don't stop. You have to play Gibbs every game the rest of the season. Like, there's just no doubt. He is to the moon the rest of the way. Yeah, listen, Lockett, if you look at the targets, Tyler Lockett has gotten a lot of targets each week. So I don't think that's a bad idea, Ronald. Um, yeah, Brian Robinson over Aaron Jones for sure. Dallas and Carolina, this is another massive spot for the Cowboys. Carolina's defense is terrible. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in fantasy over the last month. Never thought we'd ever say that again, but I have to hand it to him. I'll admit it. He's been so much better than I thought he was. I really started to think he was on the decline phase of his career. Now he's not a runner anymore. But it's crazy how well he is playing. Appreciate the insight. Oh, you're welcome, Ronald. What about Stroud over Kyler or Josh Allen? Yeah, you know what? I think I would do that. Josh Allen has the Jets. Go back and look at how poorly Allen has played against the Jets. He tried to give that game away by himself in the opener. He even last year did not play well against them either. I just heard you glitch for 15 minutes straight. Oh yeah, dude. I'm sorry, Boozy. I had to do another one. Like the Wi-Fi completely gave out. Just it shot down to zero, no connection. I don't know if it rebooted itself, but what a pain in the ass. And I'm sorry about that. Stroud over Dobbs. So, is this the game for Tony Pollard? Like Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley have been the two biggest disappointments for me personally. Like I just, I can't get over how bad Pollard has been, right? All of these points that Dallas is scoring week by week by week. Oh, thank you, Grino Stop. Week by week by week, and he's not doing anything. And here's the thing, too. Rico Dowdle has outplayed him. He scored last week. Rico Dowdle looks like Isaiah Pacheco. Doesn't that comparison kind of work? When he runs the ball, he runs angry, like his hair's on fire. The legs are moving 1,000. He looks like a video game guy, right? Tony Pollard, to me, hasn't even been as good as Rico Dowdle. So is there going to be a split coming? That's what I'm concerned about. Like, you can't make any more excuses for him. As far as Carolina, Adam Thielen, listen, the train has derailed off the tracks with Adam Thielen the last 2 weeks. The target should always be there, but this is a rough matchup for Thielen, and it's going to be rough for Carolina going forward. Their schedule is brutal. I just have a feeling Green Bay offense is going to go. I mean, they could. I mean, the Chargers haven't stopped anybody, but I just don't trust Jordan Love. Who's your top defense this week? Well, Pittsburgh. That's easy for me. Pittsburgh. Great matchup for them. All right, Jacksonville, Tennessee. The riddle of the Jacksonville Jaguars continues. Doug Pederson. Now, Frank Wright took over play calling for Carolina. I want to see Doug Peterson take over the play calling for Jacksonville because they need it. Like when he called the plays last year, the Jacksonville offense was great. And they add Calvin Ridley, and they just can't seem to make it work with him. Now, Christian Kirk has been awesome. Even Evan Ingram. I don't think he has a touchdown this year. Trevor Lawrence has taken a step back. Like, how is that even possible? A guy with this many tools, gun for an arm, he can run, he's cerebral. Like, it's just, there's something not right there, and I just can't put my head around it. Excuse me. Do you play Calvin Ridley? I mean, the way to beat Tennessee is through the air, right? So I guess, yes, you play Calvin Ridley, but it's bad right now. Arizona, Houston, this is going to be a shootout. You can just see it now. Both teams don't stop anybody. Both teams have athletic quarterbacks who like to chuck it all over the field. Both teams have offensive weapons all over the place. Whether Nico Collins plays or not, you have Noah Brown, you have Tank Dell, you have Dalton Schultz, and then on the other side, you have Trey McBride. And man, this has been such a great year for tight ends that have come out of the woodwork. Trey McBride among them, Marquise Brown, James Conner, like just so many potential points in this one. Get as many of your players in this game as you can. Can you trust Browns or 49ers defense down the stretch? And Browns, yeah, I could trust both of them. Like 49ers were absolutely overpowering last week. McBride's a league winner. Yes, he could be. I just want to see what happens though when Zach Ertz comes back. Tampa Bay, San Francisco. Mike Evans, did everything in practice today, so he looks like he'll be fine. But this is you can just see Baker Mayfield throwing 3 interceptions in this game. Like, this is a real tough spot for Baker. That 49ers pass rush defensive line was all over Trevor Lawrence last week. It's gonna be tough for Mayfield. Going to be tough for Rachaad White. Rachaad White's going to have to catch a lot of passes because the running game is just not going to be there. If I had quality options, I would put Rachaad White on the bench this week. Like I really would. The other way, you're playing, obviously Ayuk, Samuel, all those guys. Pollard or Singletary. Wow. I mean, again, the fact that we're even answering that, you got to go Pollard. I'm sorry. But just the fact that we're even asking that question is amazing. So I get a different defense or one league that has Jag defense. I mean, it's a good matchup for them this week. So I don't think you have to make any changes. Devin Achane over under 15 points. I'm going to go under. I think you'll be a little careful with him early on. Now, if Mostert's out, then I definitely go over. And I would jump on that right away if you find out Mostert's out. Singletary over Rachaad White, Ronald, I think I might do, yes. Because, again, this offense, there's going to be offense going crazy in this game. Points all over the place. Another 5 TD game for Stroud. I mean, possible to predict. But another 3 to 4 today. That might be possible in this one. Hey, Derry, how are you? I really don't want to play Mayfield. I think DTR with Cleveland could be better. Yeah, I mean, listen, that Pittsburgh defense is legit, though. I mean, is there any – I would try to do better than both of those guys, Derry, honestly. I think I would still go Mayfield reluctantly, but, again, I don't like either one of them. Saquon or Mixon, wow. I got to go Saquon. The Commanders don't stop anybody, right? And he's going to be the focal point of the offense. Hey, Hans, how are you? Zay Flowers or Keaton Mitchell? I'm going to go Zay Flowers because, he had a good comeback game last week. And you're welcome, Chris. All right, Jets, Bills. Josh Allen's worst career games have always come against the Jets. They have 2 lockdown corners. It really bottles him. He throws the ball all over it a lot. The Jets defense is really good. Bills defense is not playing well. They're making an offensive coordinator change. Ken Dorsey is out. Like, it's just a mess. Like, they're 5-5 right now on the outside looking in. Nobody could possibly have imagined this. As a Josh Allen owner, I'm nervous. And, Stephon Diggs did nothing last week. The whole offense is being dragged down. Now, James Cook played well. Is that, hauled off Leonard Fournette? Maybe. But, I'm benching. Gabe Davis is a to the bench for me this week. Even James Cook, really should be to the bench because the Jets defense is that good. Now, Breece Hall, you're playing Breece Hall. You're playing Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is beat up, but besides those two, nada. And again, they're going with Zach Wilson again. They just can't. They really don't have any other option, which is just crazy. Who will the Chiefs' third leading receiver against Philadelphia? The third leading receiver, Kelce, and you always play your tight end against the Eagles. This is a massive to-the-moon game for Travis Kelce. I would have to say maybe Marquez Valdes-Scantling behind Rashee Rice. All right, Seattle, Los Angeles. Geno Smith played well last week. Matthew Stafford is back, so I think Cooper Kupp, after 3 straight games of just putting up nothing, single digits, even Puka Nacua, will see his numbers go up. They're still waiting on Kyren Williams. Darrell Henderson, if you need to play him, he's the guy. I think Darrell Henderson, though, is to the bench for me this week. Obviously, Tyler Lockett, he's got 4 touchdowns. He needs 4 more to keep that streak going. I'm playing him as well. Ray, we'll go through the injury report. I don't have the particulars on him, but the fact that they're coming off a bye and he's on the injury report is not good. Minnesota, Denver. Denver's defense. And listen, Denver overall they're playing well. The defense is playing really well. Russell Wilson is playing well. Javonte Williams is playing well. Cortland Sutton's playing well. Everybody not named Jerry Jeudy who popped up on the injury report today. Nobody cares. You start all those guys against Minnesota. Josh Dobbs, love him. Love the guy. He played great last week. Denver's defense playing good, though. They shut down Pat Mahomes. They shut down Josh Allen. I think I still would play him, though. TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison, to me, though, is a guy that I'm putting on the bench this week because he's going to have to deal with Patrick Surtain, who just shut down Stephon Diggs. He made him look terrible. And he's going to get Jordan Addison if JJ doesn't play. And now, as far as JJ, he said today he can't wait to be back out there. He wants to be out there this week. Kevin O'Connell seems to be throwing some cold water on it. I don't know if it's gamesmanship. They have a bye coming up in week 13. I can't see him coming back next week and then a bye. So I'm inclined to say he will play this week. Is it going to be a full allotment of snaps? So that's the only thing. That's what the risk is. And then Philadelphia, Kansas City. This is a good game. Really, really good game. There's going to be a lot of points scored. You're playing all your play. You're going to play Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco. Listen, if you could do better, like in one league, I have Connor and Montgomery, Javonte, and Pacheco. Pacheco's my one guy on the bench out of those four. So that's how I'm looking at that. All right, let's go through this injury report now because as we know, T. Higgins is not playing tonight. Jerry Jeudy popped up with a hip injury. Nobody cares. All right, he's garbage. Dalton Schultz, he has a hamstring issue, but he was a full participant in practice today, so it looks like Dalton Schultz is going to be fine there. Keenan Allen did not practice Wednesday because of his shoulder. He was limited today. So I said earlier he practiced in full. He did not. He was limited, but I think he's going to be able to go. Dallas Goedert did not practice for the Eagles. He's got the fractured forearm. I think it's going to be really tough for him to go. Justin Jefferson was limited, says, I want to be on that field more than anything, competing to win a Super Bowl. It's tough that I've been out for a while, but I'm ready to get back out there. So it sounds like he's going to play or give it a go. But I just don't know. I really don't understand, where I don't know where they're at right now with him. Alexander Madison was limited today with the concussion. He's still in the protocol. We have to keep an eye on that. Not something you want to see there. Mike Evans, full participant, no problem there. A lot of times Wednesday, these are maintenance days. Like Tyler Lockett never practices on Wednesday. Mike Evans usually is limited. Aaron Jones is limited every Wednesday. So that's how it goes. Deontay Johnson, full participant, but I would not play him this week. Devin Achane will return. Garrett Wilson was limited with an elbow injury. I can't see him sitting out with an elbow injury. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. So Derrick Henry did not practice today. Now, he's done this before where he hasn't practiced Wednesday, Thursday, practice Friday, and then he's good to go. That's just maintenance for, an aging back. But this is why you have Tajay Spears in reserve just in case. Excuse me. Gerald Everett did not practice. So we got to see what happens there. Man, the Chargers are beat up. I mean, all their offensive guys are beat up. It's just unbelievable. Bryce Young added to the injury report, but practiced in full with a thigh injury. Where is Mostert? I saw that before. Justin Fields, full practice. He's going to play. Antonio Gibson has a toe injury. He did not play. Now, running back with a toe injury is usually a problem, so we got to be careful there. I'm going to go Warren, Ed, over Henderson because of the receiving aspect of things. Damian Pierce did not practice. He's not going to play again this week, guys. Unbelievable. What a bust this guy's been. I mean, just an astronomical bust. Wasn't playing well even before that. Nakobe Dean, Denzel Perriman. We don't care about that. Noah Brown. Out with a knee injury. So he's out. Wow, I didn't see this. So he's officially out with a knee injury. Wow. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I did not see that. That came out earlier today, too. Raheem Mostert, limited with a knee or an ankle, so I think he's going to be okay. Whoever asked me about Raheem Mostert. Wow. Oh, man, I hope Lamar Jackson does this thing tonight. I just can't deal with this anymore with him. Nico Collins says he will play. Can you check Seattle offensive red zone percentage? Yeah, I could take a look at that for you, and I'll let you know tomorrow. Maybe I'm scared about Keenan Allen for the weekend. Thinking about pulling him and putting Zay Flowers. I think Allen's going to be okay. I'm not too sure. I don't think you have to worry about that one. It was good that he was back out there. Need injury updates on Hockenson, Saquon, and Deontay. All were limited. All are going to play. There's no question all those guys are going to play. Now, getting back to Lamar, I really, really think tonight will be the night. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to have to start, entertaining the idea of not starting him every week. That's just facts, right? I traded Jalen Hurts for Lamar Jackson when he was, going well earlier this season. I traded, Hurts for Jackson and Garrett Wilson, which actually helped me win last week because Garrett Wilson had to really put me over the top on that Sunday night game. And it was a desperation move because I had lost 4 games in a row. But listen, he needs to be better, and he needs to be better tonight. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. 2 streams tonight, technically, because we had the difficulties with the Wi-Fi. So I'm sorry about that. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. But we will, enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully, the Lamar Jackson does his thing. I will talk with all of you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.